King Con 4 is in the books. It was a 2-day show. Comic book community was in full force. I was selling there, had a great time. I did pick up a few books. Let's talk about King Con 4. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, comic book community. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And before we get started, like, comment, subscribe, do all that great stuff. We're getting real close to 4,000 subscribers. I'm going to very soon talk about what the 4,000 subscriber giveaway is going to be. I'm going to have a series of prize packages. In the meantime, follow us on the other socials, Bronzeville_comics on Instagram. Same on Whatnot, Bronzeville_comics. We do sales every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Next Monday, which is going to be April 3rd, we're going to do a big slab sale. So we're going to have slabs under FMV, most of them. You'll be able to get some nice deals, some really good books. So tune in for that. And there's a link in the description of this video. If you've not yet used Whatnot, you can get $5 off your first purchase if you use the link in the description. It doesn't have to be a purchase from me. It could be from anyone. Also, link in the description to my eBay store, and there is a link to my email. And if I have books that I say are sale, you can feel free to reach out to me on email, on Instagram. You know, often, especially when I do CGC unboxings, I'll talk about books that are PC for me. But if I'm, willing to let a book go, we can talk. So, King Con 4. It was a 2-day show. You've heard me talking about it in videos leading up to this. Let's take a look at, from my perspective, what the floor looked like about midday on Saturday.
No, it's not. Probably have at least one copy. But I mean, that's like my list.
So you could see things were really busy. I think there were over 500 people that came on Saturday, which is like a record for King Con. They've never done that well. And I think most of the vendors that I talked to had pretty good weekends. People were buying books. There were, the biggest ticket items may not have been moving as quickly as they were, let's say, a year or year and a half ago, but people were buying comic books. So that's what you like to see. What I was having success with was people coming to my tables and looking to fill runs, pulling out stacks of Daredevil or Iron Fist or X-Men or whatever the case may be. And, happy to help people fill their runs. So I did pick up just a few books because I really didn't have time to do hunting like I would if I were just buying at a show. And the next show I go to, I'm going to be buying. And I've been kind of slowing down on what I've been buying, being a little more focused on it. And also, I don't exactly remember what's in my PC. So, you can kind of see behind me, I'm still kind of recovering. I have boxes everywhere. I do need some time to kind of reorganize all the stuff I brought in. But, kind of this the excitement of being in that atmosphere, and it gets me. When I was putting my long boxes away in storage, I had to move other stuff. I was picking, I really need to go through this long box. I am not exactly sure what's in there. So anyway, we'll talk about what I picked up. Very Gary, I picked up this book. Pretty nice copy of Aquaman number 27. It's, I would say, the higher end of mid-grade. Maybe like a 7. Could be maybe a 7.5. That black cover is holding up pretty well. So I only need 2 more issues. 2 more issues to complete the Aquaman run. And I'm looking for the books in, pretty presentable shape. This does have a little bit of a subcrease, but it's not that noticeable. So I thought this was a good book to have in the collection. Really happy to have that. I just need now issues 26 and 28, the books surrounding this one. And then I was just doing some digging and picking up some books that, I just can't help myself on certain books. some of the DC spec. One of my students today asked me, "Who's your favorite supervillain?" I'm like, "It's a calculator." First appearance of the calculator. I'm a math teacher. Detective 463, also the first appearance of Black Spider. So I have a number of this. If Calculator ever comes to DCU, I am in great shape. And I picked both of these books up. I think I picked that one up from Elite Comic Sales. Maybe. I don't really remember. I was doing a little bit of quick walking around Sunday. And I also picked up this, Action 775. I picked up a couple of issues of this lately. First appearance of Manchester Black, a member of the Elite. Kind of a different villain for Superman because he has an ability to psychologically manipulate Superman, which, it's kind of difficult to go toe-to-toe with him, so that's interesting. And then the rest of these books, I was right next to Panther Comics, so they had half off. This book, it does have a little tear in it, not in the highest of grade, but this is one of the DC books that is a little bit underappreciated. I wouldn't say undervalued, because it still has good value, especially high-grade copies. And this is DC Comics Presents 52, which is a lot of keys in the DC Comics Presents run. I do have the entire run from when I was buying it at the time. This is the first appearance of Ambush Bug. He just for no reason shows up in this book. It's written by Keith Giffen, who has been the creator of Ambush Bug. Ambush Bug is just a goofy enough character for James Gunn to find a place for. We have a movie of a different version of this character coming out, but I always enjoyed this book and this character. And this is the first DC ongoing series of Blue Beetle with Ted Kord from, what is this, 1986? Yeah, 1986. When DC bought the Charlton Heroes and they were incorporating them, question Captain Atom as well, into DC continuity. Always on the hunt for a sharp copy of this. Would like to get this in a 9.8. I'm not sure if Ted Kord is going to have some appearance or connection to Blue Beetle in the new movie, but who knows if that even has connection going forward. Picked up this, a nice newsstand copy of 408. Batman, I should say, 408. I didn't really appreciate when they had Batman: The New Adventures. But it is what it is. And it is a newsstand, which is kind of cool. But the significance of this is that it's the reintroduction of Jason Todd after Crisis. So they kind of retool his origin a little bit. He was stealing hubcaps off the Batmobile, or stealing the tires off the Batmobile. And I guess Batman's like, he'd make a great Robin. This is a book I picked up, if I can find it, and what I think is potentially high grade, especially with all the Ezra Miller issues surrounding it. This is Flash #1 from 1987. This is the first ongoing series with Wally West as the Flash. Never know if they're going to replace Miller with somebody else playing Barry Allen or replace him with a version of Kid Flash. This, I think, is a really underappreciated book. I tried, if I can find this in what I think might be high grade, I pick it up, and this was pretty inexpensive. This actually is a nice copy. I might take a real close look at it to see if it's submittable. And it's Green Arrow #1. It's a mini-series, and this is the first solo title Green Arrow. This is the first time Green Arrow is in his own title after 40 years of being in comic books and being a major player in the Justice League for many years. This is the first appearance of Julia Pennyworth, the first appearance of the daughter of Alfred and Mademoiselle Marie. So, a minor key. I don't know if we'll ever see anything of that come to fruition. Other than just being kind of a nice little detective. I think I need that for the PC. I don't think I have that one. And then Fury of Firestorm #7, first appearance of Plastique. She does have connections to the Suicide Squad. And here's another book I've been speculating on recently. It's an interesting, is when Action Comics was doing team-ups, and it's Action Comics #598, the first appearance of Checkmate. Checkmate is like kind of one of those shadow organizations in the DC universe, and Amanda Waller has been linked to that, so a little bit of spec there, and I picked this up for $6, so still a decent book to have. So in addition to selling books, I also made some trades. So one trade I made was with one of the other vendors, straight up, and I got this Thor 225, the first appearance of Firelord, one of the Heralds of Galactus, off-white to white. I thought that was a pretty nice book. We just traded one up because the book he was looking for and the grade I had at the FMV was almost exactly the same. So I'm like, let's just do one up. This, Aaron from Double A Comics, who has his own YouTube channel. He's kind of been on a hiatus lately, but he does some really cool CGC unboxings, and he is a DC guy. He had some books that he was looking to maybe trade or sell, and I actually bought this book from him because it was his undercopy. He is a big Batman collector. If you've ever seen his videos, he is the guy who loves Calendar Man. And so I bought this copy of Batman 113, not a Batman issue I have. It is lower grade, but it's a nice book to have in the collection right now as I'm trying to flesh out the Batman collection. Another Aaron, a buddy of mine who was there helping Streetside Anthony out, and he also helped me. We made a little bit of a trade. He got an X-Men book he wanted, and he gave me Lois Lane 101. That's nothing special, is it? Well, it is a... where is it? I don't want to let the tape get in the way. Not too many keys in the Lois Lane run. There's about 3 of them. Well, maybe 4. Issue 1. So, Lois Lane 101. The super reckless Lois Lane. I don't know what she's doing. I want to prove I'm not afraid to die, then maybe you'll marry me. But at any rate, double cover. Always fun to find a double cover. I only actually, in my personal collection, I have 1 double cover. So it's just one of those kind of curiosities that collectors like. I know there are specific people that hunt double covers. And I guess, it's kind of a fun thing to try to find. And Aaron was also real helpful in setting up a deal for one of my slabs, which was a Mark Jewelers insert for somebody that collects those. Then there was another guy who we did a big trade, and I had put it away. It's an ASM book, the first, 136 in a 9.0, the first Harry Osborn as Green Lantern, and some Royal books I picked up. We did a trade for a Daredevil 2. Hulk 1, right? The Red Hulk, it's been popular, but newsstand. Not a high-grade book. There's some issues with this, but cool. Silver Surfer 14. It's a Spider-Man appearance. It was funny, after this, and I had kind of, because it wasn't priced or anything, I just put it in the back of one of my personal bins. Somebody was asking for this book, and I had it, and I didn't know. This is a cool one. X-Men 35 with Spider-Man appearance. A little bit lower grade, but that's still a nice book. Another Spider-Man appearance here with Giant Man in Tales to Astonish 57. It's actually in really decent shape. There's a little bit of spine wear here, but other than that, that's a sharp-looking copy. And then this was Venom 3. There's a signature there. I'm not sure I'll get that verified or not. Is that a sketch too? I don't know. I'm not sure what's on there. Right? And then on the second day, there was a guy that I've dealt with before, a really good member of the community who was hunting for something specific that I had. Now, 3 Men in a Basement, they do a preview show before every King Con. And I like to kind of show books that are unique, that I don't think anybody else in the room is going to have. And right before I went on to talk about my books for King Con with Otto and Roger, and I think Chinmo was with them, Evan from Goodbye Comics was on, and he was showing a poster that he had, which was related to a comic that I had. They were both Rappin' Max Robot, which was I had a copy of Rappin' Max Robot #1. There was about a 500 print count. It was done by the hip hop artist Eric Orr back in the 80s. It's a hard to find book. It just stumbled into my hands in a collection that I got, and I prior to that I didn't know what it was, but I said that we both have these things, and like Otto and Jimmo were saying, yeah, there's going to be somebody that's going to get both of those. They're going to find both of those, and there was some interest in it over the weekend. People looking at it, but finally, Old Man Logan 99. Really cool guy who I've dealt with before. He collects, hip hop stuff, and he got both. I think he got the book from me first, and then there was a poster from Evan, and he made a trade, and there was a little bit of cash, and then this book. This book was hot recently. It's kind of cooled down. Batman, Superman, World's Finest #11. It is the Jack White variant cover. 9.8. That's pretty cool. And I thought this was really interesting. It's like and it's gorgeous. It looks much better than its grade. And it is a Fawcett comic, George Powell's Puppetoons #1 from December 1945. And it's a Fawcett comic, so Captain Marvel makes an appearance on the cover to help promote it. What it does is it has some sort of staining on the back here, and it says rippling to the cover. There's a little bit of that, but I mean, if you have to look really closely to find the major defects with this. I mean, this is just a gorgeous looking book, and a really kind of unique one. There aren't a lot been sold. It's a #1. Now, George Powell was a film producer and director, and he really got his start. He was a Hungarian emigre who came here prior to World War II, and he did some really interesting work with basically stop motion animation with carved wooden puppets. I haven't seen a lot of his work in that regard. It's hard to find. One of his best known, he was, I think, 7 years in a row nominated for an Academy Award for Best Animated Short, when the animated shorts were something that people were exceedingly familiar with. Walt Disney films and Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. Those were the things that were nominated for Best Animated Short. And he was nominated in 1944 for the adaptation of the Dr. Seuss book, and To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. And he had also, the Puppetoons had done a version of the Seuss book, The 500 Hats of Bartholomew Cubbins, the year before. So that's like kind of what the Puppetoons were. And I guess what we have surrounding Shazam, these are, and I kind of look at, when you look at it closely, they're hand-carved wooden puppets that have kind of come to life. Powell stayed in Hollywood for many years, and he was producing and then directing science fiction films. He directed Tom Thumb, The Time Machine, The Wonderful World of the Brothers Grimm, The Seven Faces of Dr. Lao. So, like late 50s, early 60s, he was creating these very imaginative kind of sci-fi fantasy films, and that I think is a major part of his legacy. He also was a producer on the 1975 film, which has a comic book connection, Doc Savage, Man of Bronze, based on the Pulp action character starring Ron Ely. But yeah, that's where that comes from. So that is a really interesting, cool, unique book. And that's kind of the fun thing, when people bring unique stuff. And you can work with somebody that that it helps, somebody that you met in the community, and that you have something they want and they have something you might be interested in. He basically, had a whole bunch of stuff to trade for Evan and I, and that the Rappin' Max Robot was something he's been after, part of his collection, and always, that's one of the things especially since this is my main business as a community member, helping people find books that they really want. So that was fun. One other thing I should mention. One of the guys that regularly buys from me on my Whatnot sales, Maruk, had been buying some pops, and he gifted me this Funko Pop, Batman with the facsimile of the Batman #1 comic book. So that is really cool. I had gotten a similar item at New York Comic Con when I bought some of the exclusive covers. I spent a certain amount of money. I think I was getting the Action 1 and the Detective 27 foil variants. And I got a Black Adam Funko Pop in this same style with the comic book in the back. I don't think I want to open it necessarily. Although, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's the actual comic book. I think it's just, the artwork of the cover. But that is pretty cool. Although it's been recolored because in Batman #1, Robin's cape in the front cover was colored green. So anyway, that was it. It was a great time. One of the aspects of it that's really enjoyable is especially since it was a 2-day show after we closed everything down for the day on Saturday, went out to get something to eat with some guys from the community, really cool guys. I was there with 360, Pope Chili Town, Chinmo, Mike B. Spenson, Emerald Knight, and just a really nice dinner talking about comics and stuff. I didn't go to the wild parties that might have taken place there, but I come back home and then get ready for the next day. So again, looking forward to King Con 4 in the fall, or King Con 5, I should say, in the fall. It's, if you're in the area, you haven't yet been to King Con, I also like to thank everyone who came by, who watches the channel, and said nice things about it, and took the time out to say hello. And we got to talk about comics a little bit. That's a big part of the fun of it. So in the meantime, you can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.